Do not plant a thing in November until you find out if you are a 1 or a 2. My name is Nicole Burke. I've been gardening for like 15 years and I've gardened in 3 different climates. In the heat of Houston, Texas, in the cold of Chicago, Illinois, and now in the milder climate of Nashville, Tennessee. And I figured out how almost all of us can plant something every single month. And in this video, I'm going to help you know if you're a 1 or a 2 so you can know exactly what you should plant this month in November to keep the garden going and of course to have the most fun with your plants. You are a 1 if you have already had your first frost before November 1st. So if you already looked on your weather app and overnight the temperatures went down below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, then congratulations, you are a number 1. Now, you're a number 2 if you haven't had a frost yet. That's it. So if you haven't had a frost before November 1st, it's coming in November, December, January, maybe it's never coming. Maybe you live in a frost-free area, then you are going to be considered a number 2. Now, slight caveat, this is only for people gardening in November in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're number 1 and you've already had frost, that doesn't mean that the entire gardening season is over. It just means that the warm season is over and you are now in the cool season, maybe eventually heading into a cold season. But you can still grow a ton of food because there's a lot of food that loves to grow when it's 45 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit and there's a little chance of frost at night. So one of my favorite things to grow when there's a lot of frost is spinach. Spinach absolutely loves cold soil. I don't know why, but it loves it. So put it in the soil. As long as it's workable and your soil temperature is between 45 and 55, you can plant spinach seed right now. You're gonna get a lot of greens coming up in about 2 weeks and you'll have harvest over the next month or 2. Only if it's not too cold where you live yet. If it is colder, you might need to put a frost cloth on top. You could even put some plastic on top if it really drops down. But spinach can hang on when the weather drops, when the temperatures drop. All right, next we're gonna move on to some root crops that you can grow. So even though the soil has gotten a little bit cooler, there are root crops that thrive in that temperature. And the first is going to be carrots. So you want to try to grow some of the carrots that have a shorter duration where they don't need as much time in the garden. We're not talking about growing huge giant carrots right now, okay? We're talking about growing tiny little carrots like this variety, the Danvers variety. So you can plant your seeds right now, keep them well watered, and you're gonna start to have sprouts come up in about 10 to 14 days, and then you should have your first harvest within 60 days of planting. The other root crop to grow are beets. Beets also do not mind the cold temperatures. In fact, they love them. They love it when the temps in the soils are in the 40s to 50s. So put some seeds in right now, keep them well spaced so there's plenty of room between each beet seed. I like to use about 4 fingers to divide mine. Same thing goes with spinach and carrots. You'll get some right now, and then the seeds that don't germinate, you'll likely get beets from in the new year. Next are cabbages. So cabbages are a slower growing green. I like to put the seeds in now, maybe to get some early leafy greens, keep them covered throughout the middle of the winter, and then start to get big cabbages growing as soon as the soil starts to warm up in the early spring. These plants just prolifically produce leaves, so you'll have all kinds of cabbage leaves that you can make wraps and soups. I just love cabbage for winter, and I know you are too. Now, bonus plant to put in the garden in November, even after you've had frost, is cilantro seed. Listen, do not let me catch you buying any cilantro at Lowe's or Home Depot or any big box store in the middle of July when they put it out right next to the tomatoes because they think they're gonna fool you in to growing it so you can have salsa. Okay, cilantro doesn't like the hot weather. It hates July. It hates the middle of the summer. It loves the winter. So if you put cilantro seeds in your garden right now, you may get a first harvest of some cilantro early this season, but any of the cilantro that does not sprout, you're gonna get tons of cilantro, and I'm talking tons in the early spring because cilantro loves that early spring weather. It'll have the frost and the snow to keep it watered, and then you're gonna have this luscious cilantro growing at the beginning of the spring. You're just gonna love this when you get cilantro in March and April because you put it in the garden right now. So that's for number 1. Now let's cover number 2. Before I tell you about group number 2, I gotta tell you about the Easy Garden Kit. It has got 10 sets of seeds, video tutorials, planting plans, growing guides, and recipes, plus an incredible side tutorial on how to build a raised bed. all included inside the Easy Garden Kit. So if you're just getting started gardening, or you just want to make gardening easy, or just want to have 10 awesome seeds that you can grow in November, check out the link right below this video and we'll send them to your doorstep. So if you're in number 2, then you're in a milder climate, meaning winter is coming much slower to your garden and you may actually never have a cold season in your garden. So congrats to you, and listen up, you better make the most of it, okay? So any leafy green is something you want to be planting right now. We're talking spring mix, arugula, and this gorgeous butterhead is perfect to plant right now. Keep it well watered in November. It's going to love those cooler temperatures that you've been waiting on. And then you're going to have gorgeous heads to harvest in December, January, February. You're going to be feeding everybody on your block fresh lettuce from the garden. Next up, you should definitely grow these herbs, dill and parsley. These herbs like it when it's cool. So put these seeds in your garden right now and you're gonna have herbs all winter long. Fresh herbs that add so much flavor to all those fall and winter dishes. Parsley and dill, they're where it's at. So put the seeds in the garden right now. You'll have gorgeous herbs to harvest before the end of the year. But to get an even faster harvest, you wanna try out some root crops. And the fastest root crop you can grow right now are radishes. You should try out all kinds of different varieties. My favorite are the French breakfast and also the watermelon radishes. Oh my goodness, they're like this big and so much sweeter. So try out a lot of different radishes because you've got time, my friend. You've got months to grow radishes and you'll get a harvest within 30 days from planting. Last but not least, you've got time in group number 2 to grow some fruit in your garden this winter. What? I know. We're not talking watermelons here though, okay? We're talking peas and beans. Sugar snap peas, snow peas, and fava beans. Those are the kinds of fruit that grow in the winter. You can put the seeds along a trellis anywhere in your garden. Try to pick the sunniest spot though. These seeds are gonna take about 60 to 75 days before you get your first harvest, and you're gonna have loads of peas coming from every single seed that you plant. This is a way to get like heartier harvests in the middle of the winter from your garden. And since you're in a warmer place, you should definitely take advantage. Grow this yourself so you don't have to buy it from the grocery. If you're ever watching these planting videos and you're thinking, how does she always know what to plant next month? Well, that's because I created a system on how to plan out my garden over the entire year. I used it when I garden in a hot place, a cold place, and I still use it now here in Nashville. So I made a whole video on how you can make your own garden planner too, and you can watch the full tutorial right here.